It's been a really interesting day here in the foothills of Dolomites at Brixen Testival, and we're going to be bringing you some exciting new news of a new brand from Switzerland called Scor. I've got to say, I am very, very excited about this. This is the brand new Swiss brand Scor. Now, Scor is a sister or brother brand of the very successful BMC brand, and you could look at it as the Scor being the beer and BMC being the coffee, or maybe BMC being the serious brand and Scor being the playful brand. Excuse the bell in the background. Now, what have we got then? Well, it's 29-inch wheel front and rear, but you can either configure this bike either as a 170, 160 bike or a 150, 140 bike, simply by using a flip chip down on the lower mount. Now, as a company who certainly do have fun in mind, that is reflected in the geometry of this bike. In the longer travel version, we're looking at a head tube angle of 63.8, the chainstay length, which is 436, which makes that a pretty agile bike in the corners, low bottom bracket, and the reach on the bike is bang up to date. In size large, we're looking at 485mm reach. Now, as you'd expect from a brand new brand, there are some very up-to-date features on the bike as well. If you look at the head tube area, there's some very nice internal cable routing, plenty of bolt-on mounts here for accessories to the bike. We've got a side mounting on-off switch, and on the other side of that, we've got the port for the battery charging. Good solid protection of the EP8 motor in the lower area here, and the battery is a 720 watt hour version. The bike comes in two model specifications. We've got the RockShox SLX version, which comes in €6,300, or this version, which is the Fox 38 and an XT, which is €8,300. Now remember, it's a full carbon frame on this, and also it has got that virtual pivot rear suspension design. I can also see some other very neat features here. Significant protection in the chainstay area, a very compact area around the seat tube there, but plenty of space for tire clearance in the back there. It's interesting that they've got an alloy wheel set on here and matched with a Maxxis wheel set. Yeah, very, very nice looking bike. Sorry, there's one thing I forgot was the colorways. We've got a slate, a mint, and this very cool looking purple as Iron Maiden pumps out in the background. Now, Centurion was originally a Japanese brand, but famous cyclist Wolfgang Renner bought the company back in 1976. But fast forward today, folks, and we have this particularly nice looking Centurion No Pogo. No Pogo, no. I'm sure you can guess why it's called that, because of the suspension design, which doesn't bounce up and down, and there's not many of those left in the market, thank goodness. Very high spec on this bike for the price, around about £6,000 to £7,000. Comes in three different specs. Got the brand new Bosch Smart System, 750 watt hour battery in there. Got the new display, the Kiox 300, plus of course that new LED controller. Comes with lights, 29-inch wheels front and rear. It's an all aluminium chassis. Good reach numbers on this, sort of for different sizes, so there's a good range there for different rider heights. 460 chainstay, some really good protection in the chainstay area here. Really good attention to detail on this bike. We've got their own Pro Craft seat, which has got a nice tilt in the back. It seems a lot of e-bike seats seem to be going towards the kind of smaller size I find recently. Nice integration in the top too with the display there. Oh, of course, travel, folks. Didn't talk about travel. 160 up front, 155 on the rear with that coil shock. And a beautiful paint job. Very nice paint job. I do like an all aluminium bike at the right price with the right travel. This is the new 2022 Haibike Enduro, 180mm travel, 27.5 with the new Yamaha PWX3 motor and 750 watt hour battery. Mavic E-Max wheels, Fox 38 e-bike specific, Magura brakes, Physique seat, altogether a pretty tidy package for just over £5,000. What shoes? It's always a worry, isn't it? Do you know what? I quite like these Adidas Trail Cross mids myself. But if you're in any doubt, why not come to the festival and you can actually trial not only bikes, but shoes as well. Great. Jack, I quite like this jacket. What do you think? Does that colour me? It is, yeah. What's the price on that? Price? €200 for a 510 Adidas jacket. And some really nice new Freerider Pro shoes too. Oops. Have you heard of the new Giant rain, folks? Well, I have, and have had quite an intimate experience with it at the EWSE recently at Finale Ligure. Now, the bike comes in 4 model ranges, the 3, the 2, the 1 and the 0. The 3 isn't here, but the 2 is, and the 1 is, and the 0 is. Now, this bike comes in at just over €5,000. It's equipped with a RockShox fork up front and a SRAM GX shift-in at the rear. Now, the frame on all 4 models is exactly the same material, same geometry. So moving across now to the 1. The 1 comes with an option of a 625 watt-hour battery or a 750 watt-hour battery, and that's reflected in the price. I think the one of the 750 battery comes in, I think, around about €6,400. This time we've got a Fox up front and a full Shimano XT brake-in and shift-in on the bike. A cool feature about these bikes is the fact that you can actually switch the geometry to high or low position. And in the low position, such as what Josh Carlson uses, it really is a flying machine. And here is, folks, the flagship of the range, the 0. Like I said, you can go for a high and low position, but the chassis, the frame, and all these bikes is exactly the same. So too is that motor. The motor is the Giant Sync Drive Pro. Very punchy motor, new software from Giant, and I think the display on this bike is arguably the display and the cockpit area on this bike is arguably one of the neatest in the eMTB world. You've got the very low profile remote control on the handlebar, which you can, by the way, switch to the opposite handlebar if you need to, or run two remote controls, and that display on the top tube, which is very, very low profile. It's a hell of a bike, I have to say, a hell of a bike, and the geometry makes it a great all-rounder, great climber, great descender, and with great protection in the bottom bracket motor area, which means it avoids rocks pretty well. The range of Radon render bikes come with a carbon front end and aluminium chainstay and seat stay, 160mm up front, 140 on the rear. Now, it comes with the current Bosch Performance CX motor with a 625 watt-hour battery. But the great thing about these bikes is that they begin at around €4,399. Great component spec on it. This is the top end 10. You get the 8 as well, which I mentioned comes in at 4,399. But the 10 has got some Magura brakes, got DT Swiss wheels, Maxxis tires, great spec all round, and certainly one to look out for. Like I said, 140 rear, 160 on the front. Hey guys, you might have seen the BH brand from Spain previously with the Atom X bike with a Brose motor, but they've got this very special, very new bike, full carbon frame, 160mm travel, 29-inch wheels, but I think the most striking feature of this bike is this 720 watt-hour internal battery, and I have never seen anything like it. Definitely puts a smile on my face for sure. Prices on these bikes, like I said, full carbon, come between €6,000 and €9,000. And it's got the Shimano EP8 motor on there, and more of an enduro bike compared to the Atom X bike with the Brose motor. Now, we saw the prototype CNC version of the Xyron from Conway over in Munich a few weeks ago, but we've traveled now south to the South Tyrol, and this is actually the full production colorway of that bike. Just to refresh in terms of the travel, 150mm, 29-inch wheels. But remember, this bike has now got the up-to-date Bosch Smart System with the new display, new Kiox 300, and of course the 750 watt-hour battery, and that red colorway. Like it. Wow, what a fantastic few days at Brixen, looking at new bikes, and the whole vibe of this festival is actually to come here and test bikes for free. It's a very cool place to come. Very amazing landscape. And here we are at the end of the day, and as you can see, people around me are taking it easy, having a few beers. And that's just the spirit of an event like this. Let us know your thoughts on the new Scor bike. I think it's pretty hot.